Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to my messy table. However, we're getting there. Okay, today we're going to talk about what I think is the last major decision making for my bag. Now, as I've said before, I think probably the title bug out bag is incorrect. Survival bag, I think that might be a better one. Anyway, we're going to work on that. Today we're looking at cookware. And I have got 5 pieces of cookware in front of me. So that'll give us something to give consideration to. Now, you're going to be saved from having to watch me weigh everything. I do have it written down. Okay, so it goes from a GSI cup, my Seagull pot, titanium toques, Pathfinder mug, and of course my Stanley cooking kit. So we'll look at them. I'll give you the weights and also the volumes that I was able to measure for the maximum amount of liquid that you could put in them. And I think that might be helpful. So while we're doing that, I'm going to move the camera slightly, change the angle a little bit, give you a chance to see better what I have here with me. Okay, now I've relocated the camera. Let's take a look at what I've got here on the table in front of me. We'll start on the left. First one is a GSI stainless steel mug, and I must admit, I do like it. I like the long handles that actually cross. Gives a good grip. Then we have the MSR Seagull 975, I believe it is. Anyway, it's the one that I had the wood gas stove in, and so there you go with it. Then my Toques 775, Pathfinder, and of course the Stanley. Okay, so let's look at what the weights are and what volume I could practically put water in to cook with. Okay, so the GSI has no lid. Now its weight is 178 grams. I didn't measure any of them in ounces or pounds or whatever. Strictly that. Now it does have the advantage, it can share the lid with the Stanley, so no problem. The Toques, it's a little on the loose side, as you can see. The Pathfinder, it'll work too, so it's not a problem. So that's its capacity. In actual fact, so it would actually do 550 milliliters would be just fine for making up meals with my Mountain House pouches, even the 1 serving, 2 servings, and there would be room for a little more. Okay, the MSR, I like it. I used it in the south for 4 months. That was my primary cook set. The frying pan or lid that could be used as a frying pan if you set it in such a place that the knob on the top didn't interfere. Now, and like I say, I find it to be a really handy cook set, and we're teamed up with the gasifier stove, works well. Okay, the Toques. No, I didn't tell you, did I? No. Okay, 351 grams is its weight. It holds 925 milliliters. A good bit. Okay, we go to the Toques. Now, when I bought it, I never envisioned that I would want to use a bale, or I would have ordered it with a bale, and I probably should have. Okay, the lid, as you can see, the lifting device, we'll call it triangle. you can move it sideways and it stands up just fine, or you can lay it flat. Its weight 99.6 grams, and I put in it 775 milliliters, and of course the lid is with it. The Pathfinder. Now this one, as you can see, it's got the Pathfinder School logo on it. It's part of a water kit. Came with the 32 ounce bottle, the mug, a stove, some other stuff in a kit. Okay. Now, I've not done well with this lid. It's even got a ripple in it now. Doesn't work great for me. In this one, the markings are on the inside where the tokes are, is on the outside denting, so you can read from the inside easier. And it says 700 mil or 25 ounces, and that would take it right to the bottom of these holes where the fish spreaders are used to suspend it. Okay, its weight was 203 grams. Holds 725 milliliters. So the 700 marking inside, there's 25 ounces mark above it. It looks like it's laser etched. Next is a Stanley cook set, and it came with 2 of these insulated mugs inside. Now, a lot of people have said that they set them aside. Some said they even gave them away or threw them out. Well, not me. I like them. I don't get burnt. So it came with 2 of them, and I only use 1 at a time. Okay, the weight of the pot, 214.5 grams. It's a bit hefty. That's with the lid. It holds 950 milliliters. So, obviously, except for the Seagull here, MSR Seagull, it holds the greatest volume. Now, what do we need? Well, at the minimum, to be able to, I have Mountain House 1 serving and 2 serving meals. Therefore, we need to be able to heat enough water for them. Now, the Mountain House 2 serving, let me grab down in here. Now, this is rice and chicken, so rice does absorb a lot of water. Carefully add 2 cups, 500 milliliters, boiling water to pouch. And I think this probably is the greatest requirement for a volume of water. So, with that, the 550, the cup, will do fine. It will. Disadvantage, of course, there's no lid if you're worrying about keeping debris from the fire out and that kind of thing. So, with that, all of them are quite adequate. Okay, we'll stick this back inside here. Now, what do I need to do? I need to eliminate the ones that not really the best idea to put in the, and it comes down quite readily. We take the Stanley and we take it away. Now, the way it's been stored, okay, is 110 milliliter, 110 gram, and this is a butane, isobutane, propane. Okay, now with the bottom being tapered, as you can see there, needless to say, I put it in this way because the cap here, and I use it with the cap on it to prevent contact and damaging the threads. Okay, the stove, and here it is right here. Now, this one, I had trouble with it, my fault, and so I ended up, I had to remove the, didn't have to, I did. I removed the igniter, the piezo igniter. These flip out, by the way. And I removed one leg, And why I removed the one leg was some pots, they just don't sit on there straight for 4 legs. Okay, it's like the chair with a one leg that's just a minute amount and it rocks, or a table that rocks. So that's what I use in it. And of course, I have Kueglin's waterproof matches and just a book of matches, which I normally use. And this is what I keep in it. And I'm going to get these guys back together. And I snap it up like that, which means, by the way, when you snap it up like that, you've opened the valve a little bit. Okay, now you don't have to put it in there, but why not? To me, it works just fine. So it goes in, book of matches, box of matches. There's room for some other things to go in there too, but I do it that way. Okay, now I put this together like that for a reason. This is going back over to the pack it's normally in. The one I showed was my meal kit, meal box that I keep in the car for fishing and hunting. And so this is the pot that's used for that. And no problem making a couple of mugs of hot chocolate, tea, coffee, or whatever as well. So I'm setting it off to the side and eliminating it from the... Next, I'm eliminating the Pathfinder one from possibility of going in the kit, because it's part of a hydration kit. It's got the means of boiling, and I do have coffee pouches in there, and a cup of soup, and a few other things. So I'm going to set it aside. That's because that's the dedicated kit. Well, we know too heavy, and actually, yeah, too big. It is a fantastic kit. I use this with the Lexada stove, the wood gas stove, and I enjoy using it that way. And I use it when we're camping or whatever. So I'm taking it out. I'll set it aside over this side. The pot, no lid, and really, if there was need for more than that 550 milliliters, in other words, you'd be cooking right to the top to heat up enough water for a Mountain House meal that needs more. And there may be meals that need an additional amount over the 500. So I think it's safe to take it out. And besides, I do use it quite frequently when I'm out trekking about. So we come down to the toques. Like I said, it's got the numbering on the outside, and I'm not sure how well it's going to show. On the inside, which is going to be nigh into impossible for you to see, is raised letters. Okay? Now, how do I normally use this pot? Cup. Normally, just like this. Now, as you can see, we have this little raised portion because the extra thickness of the lid, right? The choice is I could take it off and put it in a pouch. I don't have a pouch for it, so it comes down by process of elimination using the gear that I already possess. That this would be the choice to go into the kit. Now, I know when I want to use it, it's going to be in the car. That's fine. I've seen other users that have indicated that when they go into the woodlot, when they park the car, if there's something they want from their bug out bag, and I'm not going to be calling it a bug out bag anymore, I'm going to call it a survival bag because that's what it's for. 3 days. That can expand even longer if I'm with the car. If I'm not with the car and I just have the bag, I have no problem with 3 days worth of food. in actual fact, it would go to a fourth. I've got bright orange and reflective things to attract attention. So it's going to go into the rucksack. Now, when I looked at these two, and this was actually a lid off of a basket. This was the bottom off the basket. I think with heating it up, this could sag, even though it's stainless. I don't know. I appreciate all the way around it, it's got the frame. It's almost 1/8 of an inch. So this fits, it's going in the bag with it. So for the interim time, this is going to be going into the car. Now, that's into the survival bag. So that's what I've decided I'm going to do with that. Now, one of the things to get my weight down, and I just set aside my scales just a moment while I, okay, anyway. Nalgene 32 ounce, Pathfinder 32 ounce. Okay, this one has the advantage of it's got the measurements on the side. This one has a disadvantage, it doesn't, but you can take the cap off, put it in the fire, boil water to disinfect and all that stuff. What I'm counting on when I do the survival bag is I'll boil in here, pour into a plastic. Now I've got a plastic bag and plastic bottle in my bag here that has a filter designed for it. Its filter is in it, that I can fill it and drink out of it, and it filters also. Between the two, I do believe I've got that covered pretty well. But I wanted to mention that the difference, the stainless single wall is more than double the weight of the Nalgene. Now, that could come into a great deal. Depending on what I'm doing, yeah, I've got two of these, and this one's called okay, they just, that's the name on it. Therefore, depending on what I'm doing, when I'm just hiking with the water kit, I can take this one as readily as this big stainless. And those are things that I will ponder on whilst I'm carrying on. Okay, so that's it. So the deal is set. This is the Toaks kit, and it's going in. And yes, the weight of this, some guys have mentioned that this thing is a heavy sack. Yeah. And it's giving me a hard time just because I have to hold the lid in place. Okay, so with this thing like it is, I got a stove with an auto igniter on it, or the piezoelectric igniter, and for 3 days that 110 grams of fuel is by far adequate. So that's it. This is the hard choices made. I don't know what the pack is going to weigh. I've already added things, changed things a little bit here and there, especially with the suggestions of a lot of YouTubers. And we're going to keep right on. If I find somebody who's got a bathroom scales that is accurate and will go down to 20 pounds or so, that would be nice to find out what this thing weighs. Otherwise, so. It's not my most comfortable bag, my rucksack. It's not. I have one far more comfortable, but it's better for doing day hikes and stuff like that. So this holds more. This is going in the car. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for your patience, for your suggestions, advice. Yeah, and by all means, if you would, I'd appreciate it if you'd like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and have yourself a good winter. This one is kitted for winter, and it will survive. It just means that some stuff is overkill for the summer a little bit, and I'll debate in the spring whether or not to reduce it. That's it from Paradise. Everyone have a fine day. Ted's clear.